Okay. So, Marina.
Yes.
Thanks for volunteering. So we're going to do Belief Change by Re-imprinting. And we are going to work on something we talked about with you before, which was an issue that you're experiencing in your life now. We've already kind of meta-modeled it. We've already talked a little bit about it. And by doing so, we've kind of recognized that there are kind of a few core beliefs all intertwined in this particular issue. So could you just recap what the problem is in your life and the beliefs that are causing it at the moment?
I have a hard time letting go of things, people, programs, commitments in my life, and also make changes, although I'm very exhausted. So, for example, I am stuck, even in the past, in relationships that I'm not happy, and yet I cannot take the decision to let go and move to a new one because I feel that, and I'm thinking if I leave this relationship that I have now, I might end up instead of a better relationship with nothing.
Yeah.
Or I'm in a job. I'm suffering, I'm not happy, but it might take ages for me to decide to leave that job for another one. Yeah. Or even sick, I might have work proposals and I decline them because I'm afraid that if I move on, although I'm not happy, it will be worse. So this inner conflict makes me hold on to everything. I cannot even prioritize or make a choice.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very exhausted because I cannot move. It's like I feel I want something. I know I want something. I feel it's right. And then there is this voice saying that, no, it's not right because life has difficulties. And if you go for the complete package and the happy package, and it doesn't exist, so you will end up with nothing. I mean, if you want to get married, your relationship should be a compromise and you will not be happy. All these fairy tales is for the movies. So I was years in such a relationship. I had the church booked before I disappeared from that relationship. And then I regretted the time I lost. Also, my parents say if you have a job and you earn money, you should not leave that job because you have a job and you earn money, and then you might be destroyed and not being able to go back to another job.
Yeah.
So if you want more, you will end up with nothing.
Right.
And as a result, that's what I say about a belief. The main belief for me is if I do as I want, or if I am as I want, or if I do as I want, it is very dangerous and I will lose nothing because I don't know very well. The others know better than me. So
yeah,
that's a discontent, a constant discontent. And
right. Okay, wonderful. So essentially it kind of boils down to if I do what I want to do, it feels good and that makes a change. I have a voice in my head that says it's dangerous and I'll end up with nothing.
Yeah, I will regret it really badly. The consequences will be disastrous.
Yes.
For me.
So I should just accept that life is hard, it's not fulfilling, and stay as I am.
Yes, because yes, and only because now it pops into my mind, only careless people go for what they want. I mean, it's a careless choice. It's not a serious, it's not an adult. Adults compromise. So shut the fuck up, and that's life.
Sounds good. Okay. Sounds like sage advice there.
Inspiring, yes.
It's inspired. So you gave me 3 examples. So again, the one where you talked about, staying in a relationship where, he was a nice guy, you weren't happy, you were unhappy, but because he loved you and he was a nice guy,
I was dying from boredom, but he loved me. He was the nice guy that caused no problems. What parents dream for their girl. I was 29, but I was feeling as if I'm 70 because I was profoundly unhappy and bored and not attracted. But he was a nice guy loving me.
Oh, great. Okay, so the desire to walk away from that, the voice in your head is saying you're crazy, you'll end up alone, you'll end up with nothing, you'll end up, You should settle for the boredom, because actually it could be a lot worse.
Yeah, because it could be a lot worse. So that it could be somebody beating or gambling or drinking. So that guy was treating me well. I was not fine. So
great. So settle is the best thing. Settle, compromise, best thing to do. Great. There was one around leaving your job. You felt that if you left the marketing job, you might run out of money and go back. And the reason
never find a job that pays that nice and have a managing position, and then the market is shrinking, so it's stupid. Stay despite the health problem. I got a burnout twice, and I was really sad and depressed, but it took me a very, very long time to just decide to leave it, because
and the reason
it ended up to either I will get a very serious disease,
yeah,
or I will find another job. And that's why I needed to reach bottom of patience to make the change.
yes. So you mentioned how you had almost nothing left to lose by the time you left. So it was already the worst possible case scenario that you could imagine.
Yes.
So even if you thought, well, I'll lose it all, well, I haven't got anything left to lose if I end up ill. And yeah, so
ill or crazy or with mental or I mean, not wanting my life. But in both cases, instead of leaving while I was feeling happy and joyful, energetic, I waited to reach rock bottom, that I cannot tolerate that.
Yes.
In order to decide to leave. And then looking back, I was regretting the time I wasted and the energy, because then I had to lift me up.
Yes.
When I quit, I broke up with this guy. The first day he moved out, I put music on and I was dancing in my living room from the relief. And I was wondering, what have you done all these years? The same with my job.
Yes. Okay. Brilliant. The final example was where you take on courses because you want to give yourself more assets to, you know, for in your job, and find a way to kind of distinguish yourself even more. But actually what you really want to do is enjoy yourself, is do what you please, you know, is to rest and prioritize health and for now. But it feels like I'll lose an opportunity, or I'll lose something if I pause those courses. There isn't time to prioritize myself. I'll lose out if I do as I please. I'll lose something.
I push myself to exhaustion with programs, commitments, set up the business, although what I want is to recharge, gather my energy and move on. And it's been now 2 years. I'm discussing it, but I'm not doing it.
Brilliant. Okay. So life is hard. It's not supposed to be fulfilling. If you try to do something that you want to do, you will end up losing everything. Okay. And we've got some really good examples there. And we're going to do a re-imprint on this experience. So would you mind creating in your room a line of time? Doesn't have to be a straight line, but one where you can spend a bit of time in the past and some time in the now, and then possibly just walking into the future a little bit. So we need a fairly...
The plan was, if this is the line, the future, here is, you see the shadow, that is the past.
That's great. Yeah.
Let's say the present is here.
Yeah. You can obviously go left and right.
The learning position here, it's a bag I have on the floor.
Lovely.
And the future is to the computer and down, most probably, because otherwise you shall not see me.
Fabulous. That works. And obviously, because of the logistics, if you need to, you know, walk round in a very loopy circle to get more space into the future at some point, you can.
Yes, we can unfold it in circles. Yeah. Let's say it's wrapped and packed like a piece of wool. Yeah.
Absolutely. You can do whatever you need to do for...
But it's a treadmill. I keep walking and it goes backwards on the...
Yeah, exactly. All right. So if you could stand in the now for me. All right. And I want you to identify the specific physical manifestation of the symptoms that you want to address. Okay, so feel into how it feels to have this problem, to have these beliefs, and stand in the physical location of your timeline, representing the present, facing the future. Okay, you there?
Yes.
All right, now focus your attention on the physical expression of your symptoms and the beliefs associated with them. And I want you to walk slowly backward, pausing at any location that seems to be relevant to the symptom or those beliefs. So you'll see kind of, you'll experience events where it comes up. And keep moving back in time until you reach the earliest experience associated with the symptom and those beliefs.
Okay.
Say again, Marina, you got a bit quiet there.
Yes, here.
Great, okay. All right, keeping in the associated or regressed state, verbalize the cluster of generalizations or beliefs that were formed from the experience. Make sure you speak in first person present tense. So I am feeling. So basically tell me what's going on from your experience. Like, how old are you?
I am 4.5, somewhere around 4.
Yeah.
And I am in a closet, and I smell the in the summer house, in our summer house, and I can even smell the shoes that are there. And I am in the closet because it's midday, it's 3, 4, I don't know. When my father was sleeping, I have to be totally quiet because he gets very angry if we wake him up. And I'm bored, so there is this lady we have in the house to help us, and she's ironing. So I go there because I want to try to iron and learn how it's done, because it's something that I'm very curious about it. And as I touch it, I burn my hand and I scream. And my father wakes up, so he's like crazy, shouting at me that I am useless, that I should disappear. And that I should not talk back, and I'm crying, so he locks me in the closet. And my mother is present, but she does nothing. She only tells me, don't talk back. Don't talk back, because he will get more angry and you will destroy my family if he dies. And then when they leave, it's my grandmother. And she says, you are right. You did nothing wrong. It's his problem, just wait there. So, although I was very happy to try to do something, I'm there scared. So it's like I shouldn't try something. And if I try, I will then be punished, or they will not love me, or I shouldn't be present. And I feel very sad. I feel I should do as others say, to be quiet and safe and having them loving me and not causing troubles. And I feel that nobody loves me also. So yes, I am very afraid now to try anything that I want unless I'm told to.
Okay. Good job. Deep breaths. Well done. Deep breaths. Good. All right. So take a step backwards to a time before the initial imprint experience. When you do so, you should feel differently, as if the imprint hadn't yet affected you, either mentally or physically. Can you feel that?
Yes, I feel lighter. I don't feel sad, and I feel complete. I feel whole.
Lovely. So step off the timeline now, return to the present and look back at the imprint experience from a meta position. So where that learning position was, the bag. Yeah. All right. Well done. Take nice deep breaths.
The learner needs to sweep the nose.
Well done.
Okay.
All right. Well done. So now notice the effect that earlier experience has had on your life. Verbalise any other generalization or beliefs that were formed as a result of that experience. Beliefs can be formed after the fact. And this time, speak about the events you experienced in third person past tense. So the younger me thought that, the younger me believed that, and so on. So tell me how that affected you.
Throughout my life, the younger me growing older. So it's the beliefs from then towards now. Right?
How's that affected you? Yeah. How's that experience affected you onward?
So Marina, since then, she became afraid to try things and to be daring. Up to a certain point, she tried to fit in without causing troubles and not contradict what the others were saying and keep a rather low profile. And as she was growing older, but while in school, she was very sad and lonely and was very sensitive to other people's reactions of whether she was doing something wrong. And she thought that if she did something the others wouldn't approve, she would be thrown away. She would be rejected and not belong, and then would be very lonely. And then growing up, she couldn't actually decide because always it was what she wanted to do and what other people were thinking. And although this voice, I mean, even when she was 20 and 25, she still understood that there is an inner criticism all the time of whether what she does is safe or not, whether it's correct or not. She thought she had to belittle her potential because if she did the most, she would, if she tried, if she was brave, if she had a point, she would be rejected. And then she always compared her decisions to what somebody else would say, to seek for approval. So even though she felt bad in certain situations, because the environment approved, she was self-doubting what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And she was always uncertain about her choices, so she didn't make choices. She didn't leave things or situations. She didn't stop or change. She had a very hard time to dare and do what she was. She wanted to be a painter, but because it was not allowed and it was not approved, she did what she studied marketing. And then she was afraid to go back and study art because she thought, now I did one study. If I leave it and start over, I will left behind. So she started compromising, which as a result made her be a little bit sometimes more, some other times aggressive and defensive. So she compromised with friendships or with relationships or jobs to what is expected as correct, even if that did not represent her feelings.
Brilliant.
And that made her I think she suffered from depression because of that, twice, because life started feeling pointless, not to suicide, but not happy and not fulfilling. So what was the point every day to do something that she didn't like?
Yeah.
She didn't have the guts to live. And then she started accusing herself that you are a coward and you don't do. The funny thing is people could not even feel that. They thought she's very powerful and very confident and she knows what she's doing. So they didn't even support her. And that was the most horrible loneliness, that people thought she had everything solved and she was pointlessly angry.
Yeah.
So now she's exhausted.
Yeah.
And fed up.
Okay.
And because her father passed, that was, sorry to say, huge relief, because the strong voice has gone away.
Yeah.
Disapproved even her posts on Facebook, that it's a ridicule, we expose ourselves to society. Yes.
Okay. Good. Nice connections made there. That's it makes a lot of sense. Can you find the positive purpose or secondary gain of the symptoms or responses formed in that experience? So we can see that the effect they did have. Can you see the positive function those symptoms, those beliefs served in relation to those past events? So how was it serving you? How was it a positive intention to have that reaction?
It is a weird balance, because although all the consequence and suffering was because of depending on an inner voice all the time for approval, she didn't exactly feel comfortable in that other voice action. So although there was an inner conflict, she learned how to stand on her feet, because she didn't embrace the other voice. She didn't do herself what she wanted, but she became resilient all these years, and she became strong, and she's here now playing that I want to do what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good point.
Yeah.
But I think the positive intent, no, that's hard to see the positive intent. Yes, definitely it made her feel stronger, which is strange to say so, but she felt stronger throughout the years because she could deal with that thing. Although she didn't know what she wanted, she didn't indulge to do the safe choice. So, I mean, she took a long time to break up that relationship in the past, but she didn't get married to have children. So yeah, she found the courage to do the change. She didn't stay forever in that job. It took her long, but then she didn't do what others expected.
Yeah. So the original reaction, which is, you said I mustn't, like I shouldn't try something because I'll be punished. They won't love me. The original reaction to that, which is, okay, this is what I'm learning. I shouldn't try things. If I do, I'll be punished. That the positive intent of that was to avoid punishment and to maintain love. Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
That's the positive intention of the reaction was, yes, I need to make sure that I stay loved.
Not even love, but belonging.
Belonging. Okay.
And surviving, because the job she didn't. Do you want for some of the incidents that followed, or only that event?
I think just for now, just that event, because I think
so it was to maintain the love,
yeah,
and belonging in the family, obviously,
yeah,
and survive, because without the family, how can she survive? Right.
So just because the thought, the belief itself is you know, if I do as I please, it's dangerous and I'll lose everything, pretty much is summed up by that experience. And the losing everything as a child was, you know, I'll be rejected, I won't be loved and belong. So that's the losing everything, isn't it? That's the sense of losing everything. So the reaction, just to get this clear, so the positive intention of holding on to that belief is to prevent people from rejecting you, you know, the losing everything part. Don't lose everything. If you try something and it doesn't work out, people will reject you and you won't belong. That's the crux of it. Yeah.
And
so
also, I just realized that all these things that I'm saying about delaying, since that event, she was delaying and dreamed of when she would be 18 to do as she pleased.
Okay.
That you don't belong by law to the parents.
Okay.
So she gathered lists of her precious stuff to know she has also to make a plan, even though that would be far away. But at that point, the positive intent was to keep quiet and low profile, so she doesn't, she can keep belonging and be safe in a family and try to gain the love and acceptance.
Great. Brilliant. Okay. So it served a purpose up until that age, 18. Yeah. So the positive intent was to belong and be able to maintain status in the family and stay there without being rejected. So it did serve a purpose at some point, that behavior. It just doesn't serve you now.
And for many, yes. I think it stopped serving many years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. But at the time, you can see that
It would use the resources of the family to have the safety and protection, yes, and play the safe card, because she couldn't do things by herself and she was weak. She was a child.
And through the eyes of a child, it makes sense. It's an obvious choice. Yeah, it's a good positive intention to have. Okay, good. All right, so for each of the people involved in the imprint experience, so first of all, who was involved? So obviously you mentioned your dad,
my mom,
your mum, and
my grandmother. Did that count? Because the lady that was living with us to help us didn't have it all.
Okay, that's fine. So dad, mum, grandmother, anybody else?
I don't remember. I mean, I don't even remember the face of the lady. I remember Lord the Red. I don't know where my brother was, but it doesn't matter. He was a baby 1 year old, so it doesn't
That's
matter.
fine. Great. Okay, so the three people involved, dad, mum, grandmother. What's your...
But though I was thinking, she was thinking that the brother was 1 year old, and I don't know if it was at that, maybe after that or before that. That cleaning lady told her that, you know, you see your brother, the baby, they did him because you were not enough. So I thought this reaction was I was not belonging. But I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter now. My brother was 1 year old, so he couldn't do anything. But for me, he was the preferred because they were taking also care of him and screaming at me.
Okay. But he wasn't involved in the event itself. No. Okay, so what we're going to do next. So for each of the people involved in the imprint experience, first, we're going to identify the resources or choices that the person needed back then and did not have, but you have available now. You don't have to limit yourself to the capabilities that you or the significant others had at that time, so long as you, not them, have had those resources or have those resources available to you now, you can use them to help change that experience. Make sure the resource is at the appropriate logical level to address the needs of the person, i.e. belief, identity, spiritual resources, whatever they need. Sometimes a single resource is needed for the whole system. So what I understand from that is basically Oh, hang on a second. Sorry, I've missed.
Let's go back there.
So I've missed a step.
Okay.
Hold your horses there.
I have to go and be the significant others.
Yes, that's it. So we've missed a step there. So hold on. There we go. Right. Yes. So 3A, we're going to associate into each of the significant others in the event, second position, and experience the imprint situation from their perceptual position. Describe their experiences using first person language. Okay, and then once you've done that, you'll step out of their perceptual position to a point off the timeline and tell me about their the positive intention behind what they were doing. So what's your dad's name?
Mikey.
Mikey.
Michalis.
Michalis.
In Greek, it's Michalis, so it's Michael in English.
Michael, yeah. Mum's name?
Frangiski, Francis.
Frangiski. So I can use the name that you'd prefer me to use. So Frangiski.
Oh, good. Okay, yes. Frangiski,
Michalis.
And Clea.
Clara.
Claire.
Okay.
Clea. K-L-E-A. Clea.
A-E-L.
K-L.
Yes.
A. Claire.
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 Okay, Claire. Okay. Because I'm going to address you as that person when you're in their shoes. So who would you prefer to do first? Mum, dad, grandmother?
No, let's start from the sequence of action. Michalis first.
Great. Okay. So if you've done a perceptual positions before, so you're going to stand in the learning position and see the event first of all, get a sense of the event back in that bit of the timeline, get a really good sense of where your dad was, what he looks like in that scene, anything you know about him, you know, from his past, everything you know about him as possible, how he stands, how he sounds, get all that ready before you go and stand in his shoes. And then as soon as you're there, I'm going to call you Michalis, okay? So, and you'll be speaking as him.
Okay. So I go back to the event.
Yeah, and when you're ready, step into your dad's point of view in that event. And let me know when you're there.
Okay.
Okay. So Michalis, what's going on from your perspective right now with Marina in this situation?
I work so hard that I deserve to sleep. No one respects me in this house. So if I don't shout at her, she will be lost. No, she doesn't listen. I told her to not wake me up and not make any noise. Why she has to go and play? We have a cleaning lady. She can stay and sleep or play with her toys because she does not respect my need to rest. It's impossible in this house. She needs to learn the rules. Now, I'm so angry. I mean, what are they doing in here? They are spoiling the child and she does whatever she likes. So I needed 1 hour to sleep. I do that every day. They know.
Okay.
Why the cleaning lady allowed her to touch the iron? I don't understand. She burned her hand and she was screaming. So what is that? She needs to be disciplined and learn the rules of the house. And now she cries. What she cries? Why crying? I cannot tolerate crying, and I cannot tolerate those. She needs to make my life easy. I'm working, and I want in my house to have respect.
Okay.
So I cannot even see her. I mean, I cannot deal with that thing. When people do not respect me, I lose it. So I deserve to be respected. And this my wife is so soft and weak and she spoils her. And now what will happen when she grows older? So she will start and do whatever she likes, and then I know how it happens to women like that. First of all, she needs, in my house, I want things to go smoothly and easy. I don't want much talk. I don't want people screaming. I don't want, she should not get angry and not cry. She should listen to me because I know better. I know better, and I want to make sure that everything in this house is safe. And if she doesn't learn that, in the future, she will be like my sister, alone and like crazy, a spinster, or getting old and talking to no one, a weird person. Now, in society, people like that do not survive. I'm so pissed off. One evening, I wanted to sleep for one evening. I cannot sleep.
Lovely. Come back to the learning position. Beautiful job there. All right, so Marina, having had that experience, take a moment. Yeah, take a moment to be yourself again. Yeah. Oof. Awesome. Okay. Now, from what did you learn from that experience of being in his shoes?
Okay, he's very afraid because he doesn't know what to do. First of all, I know he didn't want a girl, he wanted a boy, so that things would be easier. So now for him, he's scared of this responsibility. It's not only that he wanted the boy because he wanted the boy to carry the name. Yeah. He thought always that the boy is easier. So now he doesn't know how to deal with a girl. Also, he's very afraid of how he should support Marina to grow up, and how he will protect her from men like him, who was a womanizer. And also he has the case of his sister, that she decided to take her own path and she didn't get married. She was cheated by men, and she's in the border of society a little bit, because she was into art and her own ways. So he doesn't want this to be repeated. Also, they don't have good relationship. Yeah. Also, he feels that whatever he feels, I don't think he has the confidence, and he doesn't have the experience to say what he wants without taking it personally, because when he was younger, his parents were very aggressive also, so he takes everything personally. Even that a 4-year-old has burned her hand and is crying. So his lack of self-worth makes him very angry, demanding the respect as a means that I am the head of the family. Yeah. Also, he never learned, I know that from stories, he never learned to love and touch. I mean, Michael even could not hug. He was hugging and making pat, pat, pat. He could not cuddle, and he never said, I love you. So with emotions, he was not that great. That's why he had outbursts of rage very frequently. He thinks he doesn't have control. It's not that he works that much. It's more about the respect and the control. It's not the actual sleeping. It's about the discipline in his rules. So he's the head of the family and he's precious. Yeah. He's trying to create a protective context for Marina to grow up, fitting in society, not being expelled, and make sure that with his references, she can be quiet, cooperating, keeping low profile, and have a husband and the kids, and he's very afraid because he doesn't know how to handle a girl growing up without being taken advantage. So he thinks, but rules create safety and support in the system. But in addition, with rage, he calms his fear and he tries to bring some more value.
Yeah. Brilliant. Amazing. Okay. So.
And actually, you know, because we had these incidents with screamings and rage many years. We stopped having this situation when I was 30-something, that I screamed at him and I shouted and talked badly. And then we didn't talk because usually he was not talking because he was expecting Marina to say sorry. So he would demand obedience and discipline. And when I told him that I don't need you anymore and forget about it, we shall never talk, he said, you try to shout to make me do what you want. He said, no, he actually accepted. I had forgotten that. It was his fear of what would happen when he will go away if he didn't learn the rules.
Yeah.
So that was he was trying to do. It was the first time how a 4-year-old disobeyed the orders of the house. Yeah.
So in terms of positive intention, it does make a lot of sense. The things that he was saying, you know, she will end, my wife is soft and weak. What will happen when she gets older? She'll be like my sister. She'll be alone, crazy, a spinster. People like that don't survive. So his made it very clear that his intention was about making it so that you would survive and not end up.
There was always in the family, both in his and my mother's, and he knew that very well, that unless you are in conformity with society, his father was in Trapezunda, so when there was the Holocaust there, they came by foot to Greece. My mother's family was destroyed. So it's, if you are not in conformity with society and you don't know rules, then you are in danger of actual survivor, or you attract attention, or you will not be included, or you will not be supported, so you will be the outcast.
Right. Okay.
As an outcast, no job, no marriage, no money, nothing.
Yeah, that is like his experience was pretty serious in that, you know, in that sense. And again, his, like you say, the lack of self-worth,
yes,
made him feel like anything was about disrespect and yes, that he wasn't respected, and that was really important. Okay.
Yes. So every time somebody spoke up or stand up to say, I disagree, it was this situation, because he didn't want to leave things fluid as to personal interpretation. It was, these were the rules. Unless you conform with the rules of the family, you don't want to belong in this family.
And it's not inherently safe. If I'm making the rules, I'm society in this situation, and I'm making the rules. If you can't abide by my rules, you will end up an outcast and in danger. So yeah.
Also, it's too much responsibility. What if I do something wrong and I prove I'm useless?
Yeah. Great. Okay. Brilliant. So next we're going to do, we're going to stand in Mum's shoes. So get a sense of her in that event and take your time to really take on her body language, her persona, her experience, everything that you subconsciously know about her, and let me know when you're in her position. In that event. Okay. So Frangiskis, tell me what's going on from your perspective in this event with Marina.
I cannot have these situations in my house. I cannot hear, I cannot have shouts, I cannot have screams, and I don't know what to do. I mean, I cannot speak to him the way he's right now. And what did she wanted to play? Because she would be burned. And I don't know, like, I prefer, okay, let's have her, he locked her in the closet, so let it be there, he will calm down and we will discuss later, because I cannot confront this situation. I don't know how to handle it. It's not that, I mean, she didn't do something wrong, but if he keeps screaming, he will die, and if he die, will be alone. So let it be like that. It's a child, it will go away, she will forget it, but I cannot talk to him when he's like that, because that's why I cannot listen to screamings. I cannot. So I'm very scared right now. I'm very upset. I'm very scared, and I don't know what to do, because I have a strong man who is handling everything. He supports the family. I have faith. I feel safe with him. He knows how to handle anything. He's in charge. So now I mean, I don't know what to do. I don't like it at all. I don't like it. It hurts me, but I cannot interfere. It's better to live like that. She will grow up and forget it.
Yeah. Anything else?
I know he loves her. I saw him when I gave birth. I know he loves her, and it doesn't matter that she wasn't a boy when she was born. Then he was 3. So it's better that we are on the safe side, and she doesn't grow up to be wild and careless and do crazy stuff, get into drugs or go date every man she finds or change orientation. It's better like that. I don't like the way he does it. I don't interfere. I cannot talk to you. I'm in a shock right now. I don't know what to do. I cannot handle this. I grew up in a house without a father. It was only my mother. We had all this catastrophe in the family with the war. And so now, okay, we need to be, as society needs us. Whoever tries to make it, see, our family was very rich. They were so provocative that during the Civil War, they killed them and burned the house. So it's better to be average, keep a low profile and not provoke any attention. So she needs to be smooth and easy, because if you try to attract attention, you never know where it leads to.
Okay.
So, but I'm so upset right now. Fortunately, it's my mother here, because she lives with us and she's strong, because I am scared. I'm very scared.
Okay.
I'm scared. He never hit her. He never hits me, but I cannot tolerate the screamings and the voices. I cannot. Having somebody shouting like that, I paralyze and I cannot breathe.
Okay. All right, come back to the learning position. Take a few breaths. Become fully Marina again. All good. Okay.
Yeah.
Some amazing insights there. So, now that you've had that experience as Frangiski, what are the learnings that you take from that, in terms of what she did and her positive intention, obviously for herself, in terms of her behavior in that event?
She's trying not. She knows that Michalis, when he is angry, he's very angry, and there is no way to talk to him at that state. And she wants the whole crisis to finish, and if she tries to talk to him, it will backfire to her and me. She knows that he's not actually dangerous, but he's very harsh, and she's getting so upset because she cannot control, she cannot leave him. She's very afraid of divorces. She grew up as her mother, she never had the father, because my grandmother divorced him when they were very young. So she doesn't want a handicap, that's how she called it, house. She knows this is very hard, so she tries to protect her fear, and she feels useless, but also she postpones, and buries and tries to avoid the existence of an issue in the family because she does not want a divorce, because she's afraid to be alone, and because she feels safety with my father, because whenever usually he was very solid and strong as a man. And to her, he was always caring. He never did such things to her. He never screamed, never argued with my mother. She cannot handle the responsibility. I mean, it's beyond her abilities. She cannot. It's nothing intentional. So she only wants this thing to be as short as possible and be gone.
Yeah.
And there is no intention toward me. She doesn't want this to happen, but she cannot do anything because, first of all, she's personally scared.
Okay.
And she still acts like a child. I mean, she has my father, and she has her grandmother living in the house. So she never took her responsibility to grow. She's very sweet. In general, she cares, she loves, but when there is a crisis, any kind of crisis, she just shuts down and she cannot handle it.
Okay.
She doesn't exist at that time, only being a second problem of shaking.
When you think about what she said about the keeping a low profile, not attracting attention, it's better, there's someone in charge. It's better that I don't interfere, that yes, without a father, it's a
protection, because she always had this, what the others shall say, the others or society. So we should never fuel comments, because comments can create disasters. So she wants to protect from the huge disaster that the family suffered to, because of political different orientations, to very simple stuff like being excluded from a social circle and not having friends. So yes, in a sense, she doesn't confront because she thinks she will lose everything, and she wants everything to stay, again, very conservative, very safe and conservative, the proven solution, the easy proven solution that creates no harsh situations.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay.
But she's fine there. I don't know if she's fine. She's safe and she doesn't need to face any challenge. And she thinks that would be better for me. Don't talk, don't respond, and it will go away. Even if you feel unfair, it doesn't matter. Don't talk.
Yeah, but that's the safest thing to do.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, good. All right, so next we're going to do your grandmother. So when you're ready, get a sense of her and let me know when you're
I am ready.
there. All right, so Claire, tell me what's going on from your perspective in this event.
I am very worried. I'm very worried because Michalis is a great guy, but he has problems with his anger management, and this is not good for the child. And my daughter, she is very weak, of course. She's like a little mice, so I can't expect from her, but I need to make the child feel good. I need to show her that she is okay, it's right, and it doesn't matter that she experimented. She better learns to experiment in her life and to try things, but I need to support her and soothe her because it's hurting that thing. And it's all this, the house is full of crazy people. My daughter is shaking and crying and she's afraid. My son-in-law is shouting and screaming and he's pissed off. And the girl is crying. I mean, they don't care about the girl. So she needs to shush for a while. But I need to tell her that it's not her problem, it's his problem, because she needs to learn that she doesn't shut up because she's to be blamed. She shuts up to handle and know that she's right. Because I always dared in my life, but I don't know have these people in this house. So it's good that I'm here because my daughter she can't take care of the children to grow up and learn. She's sweet and nice, but she cannot handle confrontation, and life has confrontation. But I'm very sad right now, but I need to act. So let's have everybody separate, comfort everyone, and we shall see what we shall do. So, but I am also upset, but right now I need to act because these people are crazy. And I feel so sorry because she's also my goddaughter. That's the word, God. She was my
granddaughter.
Apart from granddaughter,
Goddaughter.
Marina. The godfather, godmother?
Yeah, goddaughter, yeah.
Okay. She's my granddaughter and goddaughter, and I'm very attached because she looks like me, so I believe in her. She's very strong and she's smart and she can thrive, but it's not the environment good for her here. She cannot thrive in this environment. I know we had troubles. I suffered them more than my daughter. I suffered the family, but we need to exist in there. So I don't think she will suffer in this house like I suffered. But I will show her love, and I will show her that somebody's here for her, because I'm sure she feels very lonely and very afraid.
Okay.
Also, she has a burnt finger. What the hell? She has a burnt finger. Nobody cares about her burnt finger, and they scream why he's not. She cried. So we need to take care, first of all, that she burned her finger.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about rules, it's about a child that burned the finger.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anything else?
No, it will be a long journey. It will be a very long journey growing the kids in this house.
Okay.
Because definitely my daughter and my son-in-law, they are fine as a couple, but he has lots of troubles from his family. He's a good man, but he has lots of troubles that he cannot handle his anger.
Yeah.
Yes. At least I'm present.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Cool. All right, come on back to the learning position. Take a breath, take a moment to feel like yourself again. Marina?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so to sum up your learnings from that experience then, in terms of how that experience affected the event and her positive intentions.
Okay. Claire had totally positive intentions and clear and easy, because she could be in control of the situation. She knew how to comfort. She reassured Marina of being loved, being cared, that this incident means nothing. It's not her problem, it's somebody else's problem. So she put everything in the right order. She tried to be present, at least she was there, to counterbalance the injuries from the family. And she was very close with Marina, always. She was a daring person. She had a huge cost for that, for being daring in her life, and very progressive for that era. And she shared this information usually with Marina, that it's okay. I mean, whatever your father says, yes, do not go against, but it's okay to date. It's okay to put some makeup on, even if your parents do not allow you, because she was very progressive for her time. Because of their financial status, she was traveling abroad. She had lots of a huge social circle. There was a disaster, but she had lived a life that she didn't keep the fear from the damage. She kept the strength she had.
Yeah.
My parents kept the fear. She kept the strength of supporting the whole family after the disaster and remembering who she was, not who she could end up being, even if she experienced the loss. So she contributed a lot in counterbalancing a sanity check. Yes, and empowerment and love. So
is
was
she
a great grandmother.
Is she the reason that almost like the conflict exists in a way? Because had she not been there, you may have ended up being compliant and never questioning. But the fact that you do want to leave things, you do want more, you do want to do these things, is that a result of her encouragement to say it's not you should have these things, you should do these things?
I think she inflicted healthy standards on me, because if it was not her, maybe, I don't know, I would end up like my mother, being without interests, invisible, very conforming, for everything, but non-existent and not getting passionate about life. My grandmother had always, she wanted to be an actress. They didn't allow her, of course. A rich family does not generate actresses. She wanted to be a doctor. No, rich girls do not study. She wanted a guy. They broke up her with a guy. She left with that guy. They brought her back. Then they got her married. She gave the guy a divorce because he was cheating. And then she married another guy because it was the war. She said, I want to stay with my family in Athens. He went to his village to be safe. She stayed with her family and supported. So she lived her life. Up to a certain point, she lived her life. And I think she offered strength. It's the conflict is a proof of health in that incident. Otherwise is giving up who you are.
So you have the role model. She's been a role model for you in terms of your innate desire to do things, to do what you want to do, to leave an unhappy relationship and to go on for something better. She's provided you that role model that it's okay to want better things, but
and to grow and to study and to learn things and be present, although she never married because of my mother. But it's very interesting what you're saying. I've never thought. She, of course, is the reason for the future conflict, but I was seeing the conflict as problematic pain. The conflict is to do as I want instead of simply and easily comply. So I could maybe I could learn that conflict is okay. It doesn't mean disaster, it's just conflict, period. And not give all these threats and consequences around conflict and choice. It's easy. She was there and she didn't bother. So I'm grateful. No, I'm not learning. I'm Marina. And unless she was there, I would grow up like my brother was not so close to her. So he became compliant. And now he tortured us. He obeyed and did whatever everybody said. I became more a revolutionary type, that my father was afraid of that. My grandmother encouraged it, not to crazy levels. She, of course, had a sense of danger, but she had the intention and she made it actionable, that I respect who I am and it's okay. There and be me. Given that there is, of course, a danger, because that also came from her. There is a risk and pain involved, but it's worth it.
So you've got the both. You've got the desire to be like her and follow her as a role model, but you've also got the role model of your dad, which is the this could happen if you follow your bliss, as it were, you could end up in a really bad way. You could end up like my crazy sister. You could end up an outcast. You could end up all these things. So you have both voices in you. The one that wants to live your life the way you want to.
The terrorized voice.
Yeah, good. Okay, lovely. All right, so next, so this is 4A. For each of the people involved in the imprint experience, identify the resources or choices that the person needed back then and did not have, but you have available now. You don't need to,
from the learning position.
From the learning position for now, yeah. You don't need to limit yourself to the capabilities that you or the significant others had at the time. So long as you have those resources available to you now, you may use them to help change that experience. Sometimes a single resource is needed for the whole system. So if we just go through, what did your dad need?
I look at dad or I look at you?
So you're just in the learning position, look wherever you want to look. But what did your dad?
Sit down a bit, so
yeah, of course. What did your dad need that he didn't have at the time, but would have helped him be the dad you wanted and needed at the time? What resources?
He would need to have been loved unconditionally.
Yeah.
Communication skills regarding emotions.
Yeah. But should we put that as communication skills and emotional intelligence?
Yes.
Okay. What else?
He would need self-worth, to feel his worth.
Yeah.
And value himself. It's not that he was not valuing himself. I mean, he would need, in areas that he didn't know, not to react by taking things personally. Parenting skills, because the fact that he didn't know made him like that. It's not that he didn't value himself overall. He did. He was taking things personally.
Yeah.
So he also need to be more open-minded, and I think the most important is to accept differences into people, that we are not all as he thinks we should be. So it's not one size fits all, to accept that we can love each other. Yes. To know that love and different perspectives to life are not connected. To him, whatever did not fit in his system was lack of respect and lack of love. So he needed to be more open-minded, more accepting of differences and supporting differences, more compassionate, definitely.
Yeah. More
sensitive to, he needed love himself. Yes, I said that very much. And reassurance that he's doing things okay. He needed therapy, anger management courses.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely therapy with anger management, with his parents, with his sister. His family was a mess. They wouldn't talk to each other. They had rejected him. He left the house. I mean, that was shitty. Yes. He needed to be more inclusive. I think, yes, that's the thing. Not so rigid in his, I don't know what is the positive word, but not so rigid to his beliefs. So he was not so critical, so accusing, categorizing.
Non-judgmental.
Non-judgmental and more flexible. Right? There was this rigid grid of rules.
Yeah.
You show up midnight. If it was midnight 5 minutes, he would shout and scream for 5 minutes. So it was a matter of principle. I don't know how to say that. He could be
Yeah.
more flexible and understanding, not
So-
the rigidity. I think more confident with himself. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So sensitivity, kind of that empathy, patience, being able to see things from other people's perspective, tolerance. Yeah. Okay. That's really good. What about mum? What does she need?
Mom needed courage. She needed so much love. She needed self-confidence.
Yeah.
She needed also therapy because she had been during the war as a baby through traumatic events.
Sure.
As they took hostage my grandmother and she was in a basement as a baby. So she needed therapy definitely for her trauma.
Sure. Yeah.
She needed empowerment, personal interest apart from her family, because this Holy Family, she attached to the Holy Family and she could not move as a being herself. She needed to be more daring and strong to stand up for me. So integrity is a hard word, but she needed to understand that it's not the child that is bending all the time and says sorry. Sometimes the adult says sorry, so she should ask for my father to make up whenever he lost it, to acknowledge the mistake. But in general, both of them, they could not acknowledge mistakes. The children acknowledge mistake, adults have it. So I don't know what's that?
Well, let's just say the ability to acknowledge mistakes, contrition.
And say, yes, and ask for forgiveness, that it's not embarrassing to ask for forgiveness, to understand the strength of forgiveness.
Yeah.
Oh,
she can obviously have everything that your dad has got. So all those things and plus courage, confidence, empowerment, daring and strong, and then all those other ones, acknowledging mistakes, therapy, communication skills. Say again?
More independence, not to hide like a shadow behind my father.
Yeah.
I will tell your dad.
Yeah. Anything else?
There is something that exists to both: justice. I mean, there is an issue of justice. It's not that you are a child, you shut up. No, there's some things it's right and wrong. So okay, we go back to mistakes. I mean, to acknowledge that my father, of course, she stood by him. She never wanted.
Yeah.
He was wrong to us. Only to, yes. How is this the contrary of victimization? Because she grew up to be victimized, that, oh, my father doesn't treat her well, but she didn't talk. She had the selfishness. So, okay, integrity. Let's say integrity stands for my mother.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
And grandmother? Obviously, she can have all those resources, and then anything in addition. What would you?
I think she did her best. I mean, I can't. The only thing, she could live in another house for my parents' sake. For our sake, it was better. For my sake, it was better she lived with us. But maybe, okay, parental skills. Because if she had taught my mother to stand on her feet instead of treating her like the weak girl, my mother would have grown different. So it's not towards me and my brother, me in the specific example, mostly towards my mother. She should have empowered my mother more and not decide to sacrifice getting married again so my mother would feel jealous of a stranger enters the family. She stood for the whole family and my mother. and then my mother never grew up. This is parental skills towards my mother.
Yeah. Anything else?
Let's ask for the magic spice instrument that you say, that I don't know what it is, but they might be helpful.
What? The magic what?
When we beam resources, you say, okay, add an extra ingredient that we cannot name it, but is useful.
Okay.
So if I don't cover it in the list, it's there.
Yeah,
it's
great.
Extra ingredient.
All right, lovely. Yeah, secret ingredient.
Yeah.
Good, awesome. All right, so now that we've identified those resources, what we're going to do next is, now in the script it says, step onto your timeline. Don't do this. I'm just going to read the script. Step onto your timeline at the location where you most strongly experienced having that resource and relive as fully as possible what it feels like, sounds like, and looks like. Anchor this experience by symbolically representing the resource as a kind of energy, light, or sound. Still standing in the resource location, transmit the resource back through time to each person in the system that needed it. This may be done metaphorically through the energy, light, or sound. When you sense the associative connection has been made through that anchor, step off the timeline, walk back to the imprint experience, step into the position of the person who needed the resource, and relive the imprint experience from that person's point of view, incorporating the needed resource. You may continue to use your symbolic anchor to bring the resource into that perspective. All right, so that suggests,
Yes.
yeah, that suggests that you do one, you know, you think of the, you know, 400 resources that we just decided. Imagine standing, you know, you're going to have to stand. Think of a time that you felt loved unconditionally. Go to that place on the timeline. Feel that, anchor that, beam it. Go and stand in your dad's shoes, your mum's shoes. Feel how it feels to receive it. That is going to take so long, and it's unnecessary, because what we can do, provided that you're standing on the learning position, yeah, all I'm going to do is I'm going to list the resources out loud. So I'm going to say one. So the first one being loved unconditionally. All I want you to do, and you find your own way of doing this, but feel into what it feels like to have that resource. And yes, represent it symbolically through light or sound or however you want to do it. But I just want you to beam it back to them, whoever needs it in the scene. Either that's through a beam of white light or a beam of a different color light or some other way, but transmit that resource from you to them. Nod when you've done it. I'll read the next one, then you'll do the next one, and so on. And we'll just go through. It's a lot quicker to do it this way. So if you're happy to do it that way, yes. We'll do it that way. Lovely. All right. So when you're, so all three, yeah, and your little self, if you want to as well.
Yes.
You know, don't forget your little self can benefit also. So when you're ready, we'll do the first one, which is being loved unconditionally. Feel that in your own body, that resource. See it, feel it, breathe it. And then transmit when you're ready back to whoever needed it.
Okay.
Done that one?
Yes.
Okay, now as you're doing this, just notice how they change. So even as you're looking at them, just notice that they've received it. So you get that kind of confirmation that they have indeed received that feeling. The next one is your communication skills. Feel into how it feels to have those abilities. Supercharge them. Take them from your subconscious, where obviously they are supercharged. And then when you're ready, transmit those skills and abilities back to everybody who needs it in the scene. You want to anchor these as you go. You can either put your hand on your chest or squeeze your fist or something, however you want to anchor these all in one place as well before you transmit them.
Okay. Next.
Okay, next. So how it feels to have emotional intelligence, what that feels like in your body, where that resource resides. Anchor that in your body first. That's it, and then beam it, transmit it back. Watch them change as they receive it. Yeah.
Yes.
Self-worth, valuing yourself. Feel that in your body as a resource. Anchor it, then beam it back. Okay. Parenting skills next. Anchor that first, what that set of resources feels like.
Okay.
Okay. Being open-minded, accepting differences in people, other people's perspectives on life, just being really open-minded. Notice how that feels in your own body first. Anchor it and beam it back. Okay.
Yes.
Now, compassionate was next. Feel how it feels to be compassionate. Anchor it in your body, then beam it back. Okay. Sensitivity, empathy, and patience, I put as one thing. Do you want to do those as one thing?
Yes.
Okay. Anchor them in your own body first, then transmit them back.
Okay.
Okay, next is reassurance. Anchor it in your body, then transmit. Okay. The next is therapy, the experience of being vulnerable enough to look at your life and understand it.
Therapy and healing together.
Say again?
Therapy and healing.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah. The ability to acknowledge mistakes. You okay?
Oh, I think his energy is shifting.
Yeah. Awesome. Good. Acknowledging mistakes, being able to ask for forgiveness. Anchor it, then beam it.
Okay.
Okay. The next one is courage. That feels to have courage. Good. Lovely. Next one is confidence.
I'm sorry.
No, it's good. Confidence, anchor it in yourself, then send it to everybody who needs it in that scene, including your little self. Empowerment next.
Sorry.
Good. Good.
Yes.
Okay, being daring and strong.
Isn't that together with the courage?
Up to you.
Okay.
Good. Independence next.
Yes.
Okay, integrity.
Yes.
Okay. Parenting skills we've done. So finally, any magic ingredient left. The magic secret ingredients. Definitely more healing. Even some joy can be helpful sometimes, can't it?
Joy and making things easier. Not everything is not so serious.
Yeah.
More carefree.
Yes. Joy, laughter, happiness, permission, everything else.
I remember just something now, sorry. My father said, I said, we never say we love you. He said, we're not that silly kind of people.
How very silly.
Very old, he started saying, I love you. For years, we're not that silly kind of people to say, I love you.
All good? All down?
Yes.
All right. So now from this perceptual positions that we're going to do now. So we're going to step into dad, we're going to step into mom, step into grandma, and then finally you'll step into yourself. This is a lot quicker this time because you're literally looking for the difference. So if you can step into dad first and tell me what's different now that you have all these resources, how, Michaelis, do you respond differently now?
Oh, my little girl just burned her hand. So fuck, I'm sleeping, but let me see what is wrong with her. So it's okay. She tried to help, she tried to learn, so I should reward her. I mean, for the first years of the children, we shall not sleep as we used to sleep. So it's something to be expected. But I need to show her that I'm strong, and that will make me feel more valuable. And I need to take care of her right now. So I cannot talk much to you because I will go and see if she's okay.
Okay. Good. Anything else?
Maybe I should tell the lady not to allow the child to approach dangerous materials. And she can learn with a safety zone. Because I need her to try, experiment, and grow and learn and be strong, because then she will have better judgment.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Yes. And because I'm doing so much self-development and philosophy, expanding is a notion that is essential for her future to keep her integrity. So she needs to cultivate herself.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Amazing. Anything else?
No, I need to show that I love her. And I will do that in general because I know that I cannot control my anger, but even if I lose it, I need to apologize. She needs to learn that it's not her fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely. All right. So come back to the learning position and get a sense of where mum is with all her resources. And then when you're ready, go and step into mum. Okay. And how is this different now? How is it different now?
Oh, my girl is screaming, so I have to take care of her. I see that Michalis woke up. I hope he doesn't start screaming, but if he starts, I will talk him down because he should not accuse the girl. Now she's suffering. And let's see what happened, if she's safe, if she's fine. I don't like when he gets angry, but I will stand for my girl because she should not learn to be afraid. I see though that he has evolved a lot, and he took very seriously and with responsibility the role of being a father. I need to show my girl that I am there for her and I love her and I care for her, and it's okay to express what she wants and needs, and I will stand there to support her. Because I didn't do much, but she can do more with herself. She has more potential, I think, than me.
Anything else?
I'm grateful that I have this daughter because I tried for 3 years to have her and I thought I couldn't make children. And when we were ready to adopt, she showed up. So I'm very happy that she's in our lives. And I need to show her that I'm very afraid, but it's okay. I will find a way. And thankfully, I have also my mother with us to support me.
Yeah.
So I can ask for guidance when I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Yes. And good thing is I have also my husband. I need somehow to practice better communication for the essential matters than everything. Life is beautiful. Yes, I've done that in the past. I need to change it.
Right.
Life is not only roses, so we can be together and support each other. For
Great.
please, yes.
Lovely. All right. And back to the learning position. All right. And finally, not finally, sorry, next, grandma.
Yeah, grandma is easy, yes.
How's that different now? Oh.
Thank God my daughter and son-in-law realize that they should control themselves because now they are parents. And I will be here to support and help. I will be here to guide them. And also we are 3 adults now, not only 2. I know my daughter is more sensitive, so I will try to support her to feel strong.
Yeah.
And be also a voice that I'm not the direct parent, so I can be the grandmother and spoil Marina. I will be a role model for her, and thankfully her parents now are more open to discussion. I think we better sit down, all three of us, and discuss regarding the children. It's none of my business. They should see, but if they don't, I will initiate it, because it's not to react to whatever happens. We need in advance to practice how they will handle problems. I have raised children. I know how it's done. Maybe they don't like it, but we will be more safe altogether.
Mm.
And if they don't like it doesn't matter. I will leave them. But I know my daughter wants to hear from me. I will try to help her be more independent, so she does not have this model of fear.
Mm.
And I will be here for Marina, whatever happens. So she knows, even if I'm here for her.
Yeah. Brilliant. Great. Back to the learning position. Okay. So now finally, if you could step into your little self and tell me how it's different now that all the adults around you have better resources. And you may have access to all those resources too, obviously.
I feel my hand burning, but now people are taking care of me. And they explained to me that what I did is wrong because I got burned. And it's not the mess I created. Of course, I woke up my father, but I understand they care for me. And I understand that in the future, I should not approach the iron again. I am loved. There is more fun in the family. So attention right now is on me. Something happened, attention is on me.
Yeah.
And I feel more relaxed because there is understanding.
Yeah.
I am protected, I belong, and I can just be as I am. I mean, it's about playing, and I feel more freedom and ease of breath.
Brilliant.
I feel sorry I touched it. I mean, it hurts, and I'm a little bit scared because I see they are uneasy around me. But they hug me, so it's fine. It will go away. I don't even feel the finger now.
Yeah.
I don't understand much of what they say, but I feel it's okay. I know I annoyed a little bit and they are afraid and stressed, but I feel love, so it's okay. I mean, nothing big happened that I burned my hand and I screamed. It's not such a big deal.
Yeah.
Shrink myself. So maybe tomorrow I will try something different.
Good. Anything else?
Nice. No. No, I feel I'm calm and safe. So I'm 4. I don't think so much. I just feel okay. It hurts. I'm loved. People are around me, and it's okay. I know iron is out of the question for the future. I don't touch it. And I feel a warmth and easy breath.
Good. Good. Anything else?
I feel like a ghost went away right now, but yes, that's not the 4-year-old.
Good. All right. Back to the learning position. All right. So now identify the most important resource or belief that you would have needed as your younger self. So can you think of almost like the antidote, you know, the replacement belief now, almost like a mantra for life, almost, perhaps part of your learnings, or even just a resource. So if there's an obvious resource, great, but is there a new belief that you could take into your life from that experience?
Okay, the first thing that comes to my mind is that if I am supported to do as I want and please.
Okay.
I'm supported to do and be what I want or need. Yes.
Be.
I'm supported.
So brilliant.
If I do a mistake.
Even if you make a mistake, yeah. Yeah. Great. Sounds like the antidote to me.
Yes.
Beautiful. Okay. So we're going to take that as a resource, and we're going to come back along the timeline now. So kind of last little bit. So if there's a way to anchor that, so sometimes it can be just feeling into that truth, that belief, anchoring it onto your heart, or however you want to kind of anchor that, whether it has a color or a sound or texture, anything, or yeah, anything to embody that thought that I'm supported to be and do what I want.
And even if I do mistakes, it's okay.
Even if you do mistakes, it's okay. So embody that as a resource. And when you're ready, take that resource back to the location of the timeline just before that imprint occurred. Okay, and then from there, you're going to step into the event, make sure your younger self feels it, and walk all the way up your timeline to the present, taking that resource with you into every single moment of your timeline and experiencing the changes made by this re-imprinting all the way back to now. Ensuring that this resource is filtering into every moment on your timeline.
Now I feel emotional and tears brought from the relief.
Then express that. Feel that. You've earned it. You've earned that. Enjoy that moment. Take some nice deep breaths. Now at this point, for everybody else, when you're doing this, if you need to take a moment because the processing might take a few minutes, it's fine to have some tears, some relief, some responses, some all kinds of different things can happen. Yawn's a really good sign of shifting energy, really good, because it's like the subconscious at work. So perfectly fine. So perfectly normal, okay, to take a tea break or something at this point and then come back to do a test and future pace. I'm going to do a very short test. I'm not going to go through the long test and the long future pace for this purposes. All I'm going to do is I'm going to do a test and demonstrate what would be a future pace, and then I'm going to leave Marina to do that while we kind of get on with our side of things, because then Marina can take as long as she wants to over it, which I think is really important. So the quick the break state you can have as anything, so it could be, you know, take a moment, or what are you planning to do with Katie tonight?
I think we might either go to the Osho Center. No, Osho Center is out of the question for meditation and dancing because it's in 15 minutes. We will have cocktails to celebrate.
Meditation, cocktails, meditation.
Evening meeting is meditation with dance and the Osho lecture, so it's not just meditation, it's fun. But I think we will go directly for drinks.
Yes, okay. Sounds amazing. Lovely. All right, so let's just do a quick test then. So when you think about, obviously we had the 3 examples, so perhaps when everyone else is having a break, we'll talk about those specific examples, but the problem that you had before was not feeling like you could leave situations behind even if you were unhappy, because you could lose everything. How do you feel differently about that now?
I feel that I am ready to lighten up and some of my goals and make them less, so I can have more time for entertainment and fun. That I should initially withdraw my energy from where I'm not unhappy. I might not stop it now, but withdraw my energy and live my life and check whether I will go back or finish it. So
yeah,
I never thought of that option, but the most important is to withdraw my energy.
Yeah.
Not as resentment, but just to focus on myself and stop evaluating either the relationship or the situation. And if we can be aligned, it's fine.
Great.
But get back on me.
And in the past, you would have felt immense fear at the idea of losing something or ending up in a worse situation. How's that different when you think about the option to?
No, I don't think it will be worse, because I had enough suffering and exhaustion that deprived me from doing other stuff by tolerating unhappy jobs, friendships, boyfriends, whatever.
So it's okay to let things go and choose something new.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's big.
It's more liberating and relieving, and I feel that I'm ready to allow space. It's not about deciding today that I will break 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Definitely, I will eliminate some of my goals for the next months, and I will withdraw my energy to myself. So instead of thinking whether I should break or not break, quit or not quit, do or not do, blah, I will just go with the flow of what I please.
Yes.
Take time for myself, and that will provide me more wisdom to act.
Brilliant.
Based on my experiences of me being in a hole, not testing the mirror all the time.
Yeah.
How does this look like? How does it look like?
Brilliant. All right, so
I'm very tired right now.
I'm sure you are. I'm sure you are. So I'll set you up with the future pace just so that everybody can see it, and then we'll leave you to complete it. So what we would do with the future pace is that you'd invite Marina to stand in the now. And again, remember that new resource, I'm supported to be and do what I want, even if I make a mistake. And all you would do is you would say to Marina, I want you to walk into the future, take as much time as you want, and I want you to walk a day in the future, a few days into the future, a week, a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. and just keep walking into the future, noticing as you take that resource with you, how things begin to shift, how your life begins to change, what's possible now, and just really enjoy some of those experiences that then become possible, how your goals become more achievable, effortless, be, do, have, feel, how everything becomes more accessible to you with that resource. And then you take as much time to do that and walk into future as you like.
Even without walking, but listening to you, the first thing I can tell you is that I felt a relief, and that laughter will be back to my life, especially that there are no binding consequences in everything. I mean, this curse of consequences that, okay, I did a mistake, I can do something different. I mean, the irreversible and all this heavy weight for every decision was driving me nuts.
Lovely. So even taking that into the future, that's quite epic, isn't it? Like that's not, that fear of making mistakes not there. So that's what you're going to do in your own time. I'm just going to stop the recording, take questions, and then we'll have a break. So well done, Marina.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.